There is a war happening in your backyard right now, and you've never even noticed it. Inside a hollow tree, a wall cavity, or a wooden box painted white, tens of thousands of tiny warriors are working themselves to death. Literally, most of them will not survive the season, and yet without this silent, exhausting, six-legged labor force, 1 in every 3 bites of food you eat would simply disappear. This is the story of the honeybee, not the cartoon version, the real one, brutal, brilliant, and older than dinosaurs. By the end of this video, you will never look at a jar of honey the same way again. A single beehive can hold up to 60,000 bees, 60,000 individuals packed into a space smaller than a filing cabinet, functioning as one single organism. Scientists have a word for this, a superorganism. No single bee understands the whole plan. No bee is in charge in the way a human boss is in charge. And yet, somehow, this colony builds perfect hexagonal wax cities, regulates its own internal temperature to within a single degree, and produces enough surplus food to survive winters that would kill almost any other insect on Earth. Walk closer and you'll see the architecture is not random. Every cell of wax is angled just slightly upward, a design choice so precise it took human engineers centuries to understand why. It stops the honey from dripping out. This is not a nest. It is a fortress, a nursery, a pantry, and a factory, all built from wax secreted from the bees' own bodies. At the heart of this fortress lives one bee who will never leave, the queen. She did not seize power. She was chosen, fed a rare substance called royal jelly as a larva, which transformed her from an ordinary worker into the colony's sole reproductive engine. For the rest of her life, up to 5 years, extraordinary for an insect, she will do almost nothing but lay eggs, up to 2,000 a day, more than her own body weight every single day. But make no mistake, the queen does not rule. She is in many ways a prisoner of biology, entirely dependent on the workers around her for food, grooming, and protection. If she falters, if her chemical signals weaken, the colony will already be preparing her replacement, sometimes before she has even noticed her own decline. In the world of bees, loyalty lasts only as long as usefulness. Every worker bee you see is female, and her life is a brutal countdown, organized with military precision. In her first days, she cleans cells. Then she nurses larvae, producing food from glands in her own head. Then she becomes a builder, secreting wax and shaping it with her mandibles into flawless hexagons. Later, she stands guard at the entrance, inspecting every bee that tries to enter, sniffing for the colony's unique scent, and killing intruders that don't match it. Only in her final days of life does she become a forager, leaving the hive to fly, on average 1,500 miles in her lifetime, roughly the distance from New York to Denver, on wings barely visible to the naked eye. She will visit up to 2,000 flowers a day, and she will die, quite literally, mid-flight, wings shredded from use, having given everything she had for a colony she will never see thank her. When a forager finds a rich patch of flowers, she doesn't keep the secret. She returns to the darkness of the hive and performs something extraordinary, a dance. It's called the Waggle Dance, and it is, quite simply, a map. The angle of her movement relative to gravity tells the other bees the direction to fly relative to the sun. The duration of her waggle tells them the distance. In total darkness, using nothing but movement, she transmits GPS coordinates to her sisters, and every time she lands on a flower, something bigger than her intention happens. Pollen sticks to the hairs on her body. She carries it unknowingly to the next flower, and the next. This accidental act of generosity is why bees pollinate roughly 70% of the world's flowering crops: almonds, apples, coffee, cotton. Without this dance, without this accident of biology, entire agricultural systems would collapse within a single season.
Nectar is mostly water and sugar, nothing special on its own. What happens next is where the magic hides. A forager swallows the nectar into a second stomach, a private storage chamber separate from her digestive system. Enzymes inside her body immediately begin breaking down complex sugars into simpler ones. Back at the hive, she regurgitates this liquid, mouth, to another worker, who does the same again and again, passing it between bees like a bucket line. Finally, it's deposited into a wax cell, but it's still too watery, so the bees fan it relentlessly with their wings, evaporating the moisture until it thickens into the syrup we know. Only then do they seal the cell with a cap of fresh wax. What you're tasting when you eat honey is, quite literally, bee vomit refined through evaporation and time, and it is one of the only foods on earth that never spoils. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that is still edible today. For thousands of years, humans have tried to be part of this world without destroying it. A beekeeper doesn't own bees the way you own a pet. There is no leash, no command they obey. Instead, the relationship is built on smoke, stillness, and respect. Smoke masks the alarm pheromone bees release when threatened, buying the keeper a few calm minutes to work. Move too fast, smell of fear or sweat, and the colony will know before you even feel the first sting. A good beekeeper learns to read the hive like a doctor reads a patient. The pitch of the hum, the pattern of the brood, the weight of the frames. Too much honey harvested, and the colony starves through winter. Too little care, and disease or mites can wipe out 60,000 lives in a matter of weeks. It is, at its core, a partnership between two species. One offering protection, the other offering something that predates agriculture itself. Here is the uncomfortable truth this video has been building toward. Bee populations are collapsing. Pesticides disorient their navigation. Habitat loss strips away the wildflowers they depend on. Parasites like the varroa mite attach to their bodies and drain them of strength. In some regions, beekeepers report losing 40% of their colonies every single year. This isn't just an insect problem. It's a food security problem. It's an economic problem worth over $200 billion annually in global crop pollination. When a keystone species this small begins to disappear, the collapse doesn't stay small. It ripples outward, through orchards, through farms, through every plate of food connected to a flower. So the next time you see a bee land on a flower in your garden, resist the urge to swat it away. That single bee has already flown farther than most animals will travel in a week. She is carrying, on legs no thicker than a human eyelash, the future of an entire colony. And in a small but very real way, a piece of your own food supply. Plant something that flowers. Skip the pesticide. Support a local beekeeper. Because in the end, the story of the bee was never really about honey. It was about what happens when 60,000 small, unnoticed lives choose every single day to keep the whole world fed.